still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Sean Wei Li is furious.
She's upset. But 100%.
Oh, happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of Axe Cake Picks, episode 107. Today is May 26, 2024. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock, and joining me, as always, from the beautiful state of South Carolina, the legend Joey D. Joe, how's your Memorial Day weekend going, kid?
Going good, man. Sun shining. Man, we got a lot in store for you today. We got a great interview coming up and a couple things to recap before head first right into Newark, New Jersey, baby.
Hell yeah, got a big card, big weekend actually. No UFC on a kind of a hiatus for the week, but big King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall, what a fight that was over the weekend. So we'll break down everything there. Great interview with Jet Fox of SGPN previewing UFC 302. Got some dogs he likes, so I love it. We'll talk about him, have a nice chat, and some fights to talk about towards the end of the show. But Joe, let's start in Saudi Arabia, the King and Queen. And I guess the only place to start is, the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is complete. She takes down, it's in full effect, all right. She takes down Becky Lynch, even the help of Dom.
Bro, you saw that? I was gonna say, yeah, Dominic helping her out. What does that mean?
Oh my God, I don't know. She becomes the new women's world champion, and after the fight, I read some tea leaves, and I read that Becky's contract is up in a few weeks.
We talked about it,
and I feel like this loss just clarifies that the WWE most likely won't re-sign her.
They had to hang on to her, for the little while after. I thought Liv was going to get it off of Rhea as soon as she heard her. I thought that, they were going to maybe move away from Becky Lynch. And after the loss against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, I thought it was like, giving signs. There was a little foreshadowing going on with the man. But they said, hey, we need you. Rhea's down. We need a champion to kind of legitimize the belt. And then you can now give it to a Liv Morgan who, proved her words right. She said she was going to be champ again, and she's done it. She beat the man. And you and I, nor you and I saw it. We didn't see this come. We thought Becky Lynch, even though regardless of the contract disputes, or if it's not disputes, it's just, agreement. We thought that Becky Lynch was going to retain in Saudi Arabia. But I think with the X factor of Dom, and then maybe he wanted Liv to be a champ, and so that Rhea can get her revenge in the whole thing.
I love it. I mean, I think Dom is exactly what you just said. I think he was intervening because he wants mommy to come back and beat her, because they have the whole history entering her behind stage. I love Liv this morning tweeting, "I woke up world champion, go cry about it," because there was a lot of outrage. I think not just you and I think a lot of people expected Becky Lynch to take the belt from her. Are you not sad? Are you did it scratch your head? Are you wondering why they went in this direction, the WWE?
No, not at all. I understand entirely, but I'm kicking myself because I had this prediction far too soon. And now that it's come to fruition, I got the bet wrong, the pick wrong, and the prognostication, the entire prediction about it, how it would go down wrong. So that's all it is. I'm just more upset at myself and the way I thought it would happen.
Now, Becky Lynch, frustrated after the fight, tried to get the rematch. She said, "We're running it back on Monday Night Raw." So looks like they're going to run it back on Memorial Day nonetheless. But do you see it going any different? Because if contracts extend, if everything is correct, what I'm reading, and she can't get a deal done, there's no reason for them to give her the belt back. They wouldn't give it to Liv Morgan just so she could lose it the next day, right?
Yeah, no, that's I think a fair assessment. But let's say they kept the contract disputes, or like I said, it may not be a dispute on the hush and in the hush. Then would you see it in terms of just storytelling that Becky would wind up winning? I mean, I think you would say that, the fact that she dropped the belt in the first place would be showing a little decline in her, or the fact that Liv Morgan can pull some strings because it seems that she finds crafty ways to be victorious.
Yeah, 100%. But congratulations to Liv Morgan. Incredible fight. She is your new women's world champion. What a match. Sami Zayn. I mean, another one I took a chance on. But, he beat Chad Gable to remain Intercontinental champion. You were right, kid. Did you see this one?
Yeah, did Sami Zayn pin Bronson Reed though?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Chad Gable was protected in that. So there could be future inklings of Chad Gable maybe going after the Intercontinental Championship again, one-on-one, maybe at a big show, maybe even if the rivalry keeps continuing, maybe at SummerSlam. Something like that could always be on the table. I see maybe more divide in the Alpha Academy. And that's why I said like the dark horse could be Otis to win the Intercontinental Champion somehow, some way. If Chad Gable winds up beating Sami Zayn down the line, then Chad Gable drops that title to Otis. And the thing is that why do I think that is because Otis would get the fans behind him.
Yeah.
Him as champion, especially beating his coach and his mentor, who essentially has betrayed him, like just by being the bully that he has been to the entire team, Akira Tozawa, and Maxxine Dupri. So yeah, he's playing the heel pretty perfectly with a stable of faces. And I think if Sammy is to drop it and maybe take some time for himself, Chad would be the one to take it. But then I think there's more storytelling for Otis to wind up winning it. I that's what I want to see a little bit.
Yeah, maybe, they don't even have to wait till SummerSlam in August. What do you think about Money in the Bank in July? Or we even got the one in Scotland, Clash of the Castle coming up soon. So, yeah, I don't think we might have to wait all that much. I think
Sammy may have a little rain on his hands here, though.
Yeah.
He just went ahead and pinned Bronson Reed, who's a destroyer of the men's division, and he's beating Chad Gable consistently. I don't think the WWE wants to get the belt off Sami Zayn anytime soon. He beat Gunther. You know what I mean? For him to drop the title so soon after beating Gunther, who is now, I know we're going to get to that next, King of the Ring. I mean, I think Sami Zayn's going to have the belt for a little while. That's why I possibly don't see him dropping it until one of the big core 4 pay-per-views, which would be SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe we are in maybe an event for SummerSlam in Cleveland, Ohio. But you mentioned it. Gunther defeats Randy Orton. Randy Orton winded up winning on Friday night on SmackDown. Unbelievable match. I mean, if I'm being honest, the kid in me, when he RKO'd Gunther, I said, oh my God, he's going to win. Yeah. He's going to win. And here comes Gunther. I mean, maybe I'm being prisoner of the moment, or this is a little bias or recency bias, but Gunther's a Hall of Famer in my eyes, man.
Already.
What he's done.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, traveling around the world, doing what he's done, being Walter in the lower ranks and losing all that weight and then being a dominant champion throughout. Like, yeah, I mean, not enough can be said about Gunther and what he's doing. Coming off that, the longest Intercontinental Championship reign, now King of the Ring, I think it's settling in that he's going to be pushed to the top card and possibly be challenging for a main event title.
Nia Jax is the Queen of the Ring. I was wrong from the jump. I mean, I didn't think she was going to beat Bianca Belair. She winds up beating Bianca Belair and then dominantly. And a lot of people, on, I guess you could say, WWE Discord, they weren't too happy. They thought this was like a L move from Triple H, his first L in moving forward with Nia Jax. I don't necessarily think so. I think I've coming around a little bit on the vision for Nia Jax.
You don't put the belt around her. You know what I mean? You have the belt situated with the other superstars at the moment. And to give her, she is the irresistible force. She lives up to her nickname. She's probably one of the most dominant women's wrestlers currently and possibly even historically. So you give her the Queen of the Ring, you know what I mean? And she's playing the heel perfectly. She gets all the heat that she needs to. I think it was a very smart move by Triple H. I do not see this as an L at all. It's, you got to give the people what they want, but sometimes you got to give them the exact opposite and not cater to their demands, because then who's really running the show? You know what I mean? So that's another aspect of it. But also I looked at it like, Nia Jax being as dominant as she's looked, she beat Jade Cargill. If you beat Jade Cargill right now, I think things are coming in your way. So she beat her teammate Bianca Belair, and then to beat, I think it said enough for the NXT superstar Lyra Valkyria to get there. I spoke a lot about her character and her ability. So that was enough to get her into the final. But a seasoned vet, Nia Jax, she hit her with that devastating move off the turnbuckle. It was a wrap there. And I think it's good for the WWE going forward. You can have this dominant heel as the Queen of the Ring, and she can, without a title, prance around with that moniker.
Now, what do you see next for Nia Jax? Because I think we see her at SummerSlam go against Bailey for the title, right? I think
Yeah,
that's the next move. You have to.
Yeah, that's absolutely that's plausible. She could switch up and maybe want to go for the women's world championship. Maybe, throw a wrench in the the Judgment Day's plans. I know that sounds crazy, but right now, I think for the women's world championship, regardless of Liv Morgan's revenge tour, I think that championship's vulnerable. I think if Nia Jax went for that, I think she would be a favorite if we were talking odds. I think Nia Jax would be favored to defeat Liv Morgan. Don't see the path of victory for Liv Morgan against the Irresistible Force there. So, yeah, I think that's an opportunity. But then again, if you want to keep the titles in place, like I mentioned, you have Nia Jax with the Queen of the Ring, and she can continue with that on for as long as you need it to go.
Yeah, and they went back and forth on Twitter after the event. So hopefully there's some little animosity brewing between the two. But what a main event. Cody Rhodes takes down Logan Paul to remain undisputed WWE champion. I mean, this was only Logan Paul's 13th WWE match. Wow. I mean, I can't say
he looks seasoned.
I can't say enough good things about it, and it hurts me to say, but he's really good. Did you see him trying to fight Michael Cole? Love that.
Yeah, he's great.
With the he hit him with the belly shot with the brass knuckles. It was amazing.
It was fantastic. Did you see the camera work for that match?
Camera work was sky view. He goes, "Look, Mom, flying."
It was a really good match, and we said Cody wasn't going to lose the belt, but. Man, it was a good, and I would say arguable that it was a better display than Cody Rhodes' first defense against AJ Styles, which is saying a lot because that's, the best in-ring performer in history, AJ Styles, quote unquote. So, the fact that Logan Paul put on a better match, I think speaks to your sentiment that, Logan Paul deserves to be United States champion. I know it makes a lot of people maybe squeal or cringe, but the fact that he puts it all in the ring, I mean, says a lot, and he's playing the heel perfectly.
Yeah, can't say enough good things about Logan Paul. I thought he was fantastic. But we also, Triple H, immediately after the fight, he goes and says, yep, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, here we go. Drew McIntyre will take on Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship at Clash of the Castle, June 15th. Do you like that fight?
That's intense. Like you mentioned, are we going to get maybe a title change on that event with the other, top cards, but not the main? I mean, mid-card titles. I mean, it's going to be in Drew McIntyre's backyard. So he's got to be live, but
right.
I mean, something's telling me, though, that Damian Priest has got a trick up his sleeve. And we saw it go across with the women's division. We see it go across with the Judgment Day getting what they want. I mean, I know he doesn't want his, his stable coming into his defense, but there's always that as a chance to happen. There's always a chance to CM Punk, then again, ruining the, chance for Drew McIntyre to become champ again. So there's a lot that could work against Drew McIntyre, regardless of it being in his own turf.
Yeah, I think he's very live, but the UFC has done not Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre dirty his whole career. So it wouldn't shock me if they retain it and he lose in his home backyard. So very interesting. But we're about 2-3 weeks away from Clash of the Castle in Scotland, June 15th. In Scotland. But overall 2-3 on the night. I took some chances. And it wasn't the best, but overall it was a really good card.
I went 4-1, so I made up for it. Normally it's reversed roles. Normally I'm the one that doesn't hit them because I take a little more chances. You're the one who wrote the script, so you kind of know what's going on. But you take you didn't like taking the chalk this time around. That's all good. You know what it is? It's just a time to reassess, and we'll get them, like you said, at where is it called? The Clash of
Castle.
Clash at the Castle. All right, that sounds dope. Honestly, that's a dope little
Glasgow, Scotland. Wow. I can't fucking wait.
Place gonna be sold out.
Yeah. Let's go to boxing. Jack Catterall avenges his loss.
Controversial loss. People say he shouldn't have lost in the first place at all.
Yeah, I mean, we can start there because how did you score the fight? Because I'll say, even though Jack Catterall won and I won my bet, I thought it was a lot closer than some of the scorecards we heard. The official scorecards, 117 to 111, 117 to 11, and 116 to 112. He actually won unanimously.
Majority of the scorecards. Yeah, I think.
I was just gonna say real quick, my scorecard was 115, 113. I had 7 rounds for Catterall to 5.
Yeah, and did you have him in the later portion of the fight as well?
I actually thought Jack Catterall was rolling early, and then I
Wow.
thought Josh Taylor kind of, turned the corner a little bit. And then the last couple of rounds,
I just thought Josh Taylor in the early parts kind of, pushing the pace and being the more aggressive boxer. And then as it started waning on, I thought, Taylor with his reach, he might have had an advantage in the later rounds, but I didn't see that. Jack Catterall took over the fight. That's what I saw. And I didn't necessarily agree with the scorecards either, but I didn't have him off by that much. It could have been another round or two for Taylor, but still, I kind of agree with the unanimous decision. I think it kind of rings true what we argued before, is that did Jack Catterall lose the first fight? It was a split for Taylor, and now it's saying that, Catterall won unanimously, pretty much dominantly, that he should have won both fights. Then again, should there be a third? Because, there was a controversy of him losing the first, but now technically in the rivalry, it's 1-1.
Yeah.
So do you see a third fight between them, or do you think Jack Catterall put this to bed?
I mean, Josh Taylor called for the rematch. He goes, hey, good on him. Fair play. He won. And I think they do a trilogy. I mean, these two in the ring together are must-see TV. I mean, they box each other so well. They know each other so well. It's always going to be a close fight. So, fuck it. Everyone makes some money. I don't mind a trilogy. That was one of my questions to you. I was like, do you want to see a trilogy? Because I know a lot of people are kind of, they got a distaste in their mouth. First one was controversial, and now this one, a lot of people. You saw Bob Arum, 94 years old. I mean, he was cutting a mean promo in the ring. The old man still got it. That was great theater. He called it, even though great on Big Bob. Even though Taylor is an American, you gotta love the fire from his age. He called it an American, but you gotta love him. Do you know Bob Arum, by the way?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I mean, that's funny. Yeah, no, Josh Taylor is he's Scottish, so that was funny. He called him the American. No, it was it was a great fight, and yeah, I think the right guy won. Yeah. And I kind of now see what you were saying, where it's like, what, if Jack Catterall won this, that you could put it to bed. So that's why I questioned where your head was at now. Yeah. But if it pays them well and it shows for good entertainment for the fans, yeah, I'm sure we can get a third fight between them, and then whoever comes out victorious will be the winner of this rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great promo. I wouldn't say it was a disgrace. He kind of went a little too far, in my opinion, but it was a great promo. Eddie Hearn was dying laughing. And for him at 94 to be traveling and cutting a promo like that in the ring, I mean, you kind of love it. Yeah. I go 1-0. So overall weekend, we go 500, 3-3. I know you took a shot on the underdog, right?
Yeah, and that's how I missed that one. So 4-2 technically for the weekend in terms of picks, and unfortunately 10 seconds left, hit a little bump in the road. We did not get Cage Warriors 172 main event. So Harry Hardwick is now the new featherweight champion of Cage Warriors. My dog did not work out.
Did you see what has it come to? Misfit Boxing's Paige and Elle Brooks. Did you see that fight or no?
No, I didn't watch it.
Me either. All I saw was her
told me the knockdown. Yeah, and I was like,
I watched it, Joe, real quick. I watched it after the knockdown. I was like, oh, I forgot they were even fighting, if I'm being honest. And I go and I watch the fight. She actually came back, Paige, and she forced a split draw.
Yep. So everyone had a different opinion on the fight. So, I mean, was it really worth our time then? I'm glad I didn't watch it.
They want to run it back now, obviously.
Of course they do. Yeah, they want to make their $1,500. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, they make more money than I do in a year.
Is Memphis Boxing down that bad? 1,500.
I'm just joking.
I know. All right. Anything else we miss over the weekend?
Nothing much that I seen. There was a couple other events like Uriah Favors that I mentioned.
Oh, he choked. He made him tap. I don't know who the guy was, but he made him.
But it was Uriah Faber coaching. It was like what you remember when we talked about that event that took place in New Jersey? Matt Brown coach and the head coach from K Dojo. I think it was like Favors camp fighting against his opponent.
Yeah, I want to see who he tapped. Oh man, I can't find it now, but it's all good. Uriah Faber winded up tapping Jeff Glover. There it is. A1
Whoa,
Combat.
wait, Faber tapped Glover?
Yeah, he tapped him out last night in A1 Combat.
Uriah Faber tapped out Jeff Glover.
Yes.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at what? With what?
I don't know. It was a jiu-jitsu match. You got to watch the video. You would know what kind of submission it was. So, yeah, go look it up in your spare time. But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It is no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry on Saturday watching UFC 302, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. And now, here is our interview with Jeff Fox. All right, we are back. Joe, great interview with Jeff. Gave us some dogs too. I love it. You know, we love dog hunting as well. Getting some plus value. You know, doing a podcast with your 12-year-old son. I thought that was amazing as well. I had to ask him about that. And
I wish I asked him when what was his first event he ever saw, because man, going back to mine, it was like 2007. It was like April 27, 2007. It was Nations Collide, Gabriel Gonzaga, Crow Cop, Mirko Crow Cop. So that was just like kind of started off my, addiction.
Yeah. And, I feel like you've been in it forever. He's been in it forever, writing for 15 years. So, and then he hosts with Gumpy as well over on SGPN. So, yeah, great interview there with Jeff. Gave you some picks for UFC 302. This whole week's going to be about 302. I mean, the whole show on Friday, we're going to break down the whole card live in studio. Is that correct, Joe? You'll be in studio.
Yeah, I'll be there, brother. I will be there live. Can't wait to do this special episode with you. And real quick before you get us out of here, looked like he got him in like a Peruvian necktie, Uriah Faber choking out Jeff Glover, which is surprising. Jeff Glover is so slick with his jiu-jitsu. So people are saying that it's rigged. I don't think these
come on.
Come on now. These guys are professionals, and Jeff Glover, he's probably going through a lot. And so maybe it was just a little bit of that. Maybe his head was out of it, but I know Jeff Glover will be back and he'll be doing what he always does, training and teaching and just being himself, because he's one of a kind.
I mean, yeah, it's hard, but that's the California kid.
Yeah.
In California, come on.
You can't discredit this legend. Come on.
That's Uriah Faber. Some news and some bits and bops before we get out of here. Of course, right after we record last week, they break some news. Dana White goes on Instagram. We got a really good fight at 303. Ian Machado, Gary will take on MVP. It's not the co-main. It's going to be the third fight in the main card, but I think it's right. You got to put Ian Gary and build him the right way on a Conor card. There were rumblings that they were going to put this fight on the UK, Manchester, and I think they would have done Ian Gary a disservice. You're going into MVP's backyard, hostile territory. Not a good look. He needs to be. It's kind of like a full circle moment. Ian Machado Gary is literally a product of what Conor McGregor embodied. Yeah. So I think it was perfect on the UFC, and I love this fight for both fighters.
Yeah, I think it's a great fight for both of them. Obviously stakes case for a title. I think, for either one of them, they may be one more fight removed if whoever comes out victorious, but that's why you said if they put it over in a Manchester, MVP would have had a way massive advantage, because I'll be honest, I think he's live even at 303 in Las Vegas. I think his skill set matches up well against Ian Gary. This is going to be a stand-up fight, because that's what these guys do. So I think if it's going to stay standing, I think either one of them are going to have a shot, especially if both of them are putting on their skills on display. So yeah, Ian Gary is definitely going to be the favorite, but MVP's live to me. I think he has a shot of taking that O from Ian Gary.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I love the fight. I think, the one thing I do not the one thing I kind of had a problem with, Ian Gary saying, you know what, I'm not going to fight down anymore. I mean, you really don't have a say. Ian Machado Gary is sitting at 7, and I agree with your sentiment. I think whoever wins this is one fight away from fighting the welterweight champion, whether it's Bilal or Leon Edwards. So, sitting at number 7, Ian Machado Gary fighting down at number 13, saying he wouldn't do that. I think a win over, that's probably your best win of your career for Ian Machado Gary. Guess whose line is it anyway? Odds are up. Who is the favorite?
Ian Gary minus 150.
Close. Ian Machado Gary minus 130 plus 110 MVP. Close. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see any takedowns occurring in this fight.
No, it's going to be a stand and bang for this one.
It'll be entertaining.
Another fight that was announced, Marlo Chito Vera is back, and he will take on Deiveson Figueiredo August 3rd in Abu Dhabi. Love this fight, kid.
Banger.
It's a banger. What do you think? Who do you like? Guess whose line is it anyway, real quick? Who's the favorite?
Favorite? Deiveson Figueiredo.
Deiveson Figueiredo, minus 130, plus 110 for Chito Vera.
Yeah, I think it's going based off last performances. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, Chito ran into a buzzsaw with Sean O'Malley, and Deiveson looked good against Cody. So I think X Factor going to the ground, Deiveson proved he has some slick jiu-jitsu and finishing skills there, and he probably would have a little bit of a power advantage. I think I do. Chito has knockout power, absolutely does. But I feel like Deiveson, man, I think this move up was just fantastic for him. So he gets a win over this guy who just challenged for a title, and man, that boy has moved quick at 135, to be honest. But Chito gets a win and shows that
he's right back.
He's right back in there, and it's not easy to make a name for yourself at 135. It's probably the deepest division in all of mixed martial arts.
Now, my question to you was, if Deiveson Figueiredo goes on and beats Chito Vera, the number 4th ranked bantamweight, that's 3 wins at 135. Does he get a title? Does he deserve a title shot after that?
Very plausible. Yeah,
Really?
I mean, I think it opens up more if Sean defeats Merab Dvalishvili. I think that's kind of what needs to occur. If Merab wins, I think Sean may get the rematch. I really do. So I think that will put a stall into what his plans are. Deiveson Figueiredo, he'd probably have to get another fight in between. But if things open up for him, you could see him getting a title shot off of Chito Vera. It's very possible.
And, August 4th or 3rd in Abu Dhabi, we're also going to find out what's going on with Corey Sandhagen and Umar Nurmagomedov. So a lot to happen in August in Abu Dhabi, but great fight. Love that they put it together. Also announced Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler heading to Dublin for the UFC 303 presser the day after UFC 302. One, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. What is your favorite Conor presser moment? Is it, who the fuck is that guy?
You got to say I think they were in Brazil. He had the headset on, getting the translation. He took the belt from Aldo. That was pretty sick. But I know it's heinous to say, and all the fighters that suffered injuries and everything. But man, I think the dolly. It's not a presser, but God. That made. Like it really made everything, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, we shouldn't be advocating for this. The UFC put that on repeat 100 freaking times now. So let's be real with what we're talking about here. That took everyone's eyes and made that Khabib Conor rivalry what it is today. And man, it could be passed on if Islam gets a win in 302 and if Conor gets a win in International Fight Week.
It's gonna be amazing. I mean, yeah. Anybody who's, I guess, I don't want to say soft, but thinks they shouldn't advocate, it's the UFC. Let's call it for what it is, folks. But Joe, that's gonna do it. Any words before we get out of here? Next time I see you, you're gonna be here.
Yeah, no 10 seconds left, but I'll have something in store for us live in studio.
Love it. That is going to do it for this Monday edition of Axe Kick Picks. Thank you again to Jeff Fox of SGPN MMA Gambling Podcast for coming on and breaking down UFC 302. On behalf of Viva Tequila, Joe, myself, Jeff, make sure you guys go follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at AxeK. Please, you guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review, all that good stuff. Really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great week. Good luck. We'll see you guys on Friday. Peace.